All right, forget everything you think you know about fighting. Seriously, we're not going to talk about strength or speed today. We're talking about architecture. We're going to treat the human body like a building, and our only job is to find its demolition points. We all have this image in our heads, right? In any fight, the bigger, stronger person is gonna win. It feels like a law of nature. But what if I told you that's not just wrong, it's a complete illusion? What if there's a cheat code, something that makes all that muscle and size pretty much irrelevant? The answer is no, because it's not a biology problem, it's a math problem. The system we're diving into today, called Tetsuryoku-Ryu, sees a fight not as a brawl, but as a straight-up engineering problem. It's all built on this one, single, brutal formula. And if you can solve for X, you get total structural collapse. Okay, so what is this cheat code? What's the formula? Well, it's a scientific exploit, really. A backdoor into a universal vulnerability in our anatomy. And believe it or not, it all comes down to a single number. They call it the 45-degree truth. And here's the thing. Your body, my body, it's designed to take a hit from the front, from the back, even from the sides. We can brace for that. But at a 45-degree angle, that's what you call a dead zone. Why? Well, because everything, your balance, your line of sight, the way your skeleton is stacked, it's all at its absolute weakest point. When you attack this angle, you're not even really fighting anymore. You're just tipping over an object that was never designed to be stable from that direction.
And if you want a perfect visual for this, just think about the pencil test. It's brilliant in its simplicity. You stand a pencil up on a table, right? Push it straight on, head on, and it just slides back. It's stable. But now, apply that same little push at a 45-degree angle while its base is planted. It doesn't just move, it snaps. Instantly. The structural integrity is just gone. Now, just for a second, imagine that pencil is your opponent's spine.
There's a quote from the system that just nails this idea. Linear is a wall, circular is a loop, 45 degrees is the open door. See? Pushing straight on, you hit a wall. You go in a circle, you're just stuck in a loop. But that 45-degree angle, that's the open door. It's the direct line to just shutting the whole system down.
All right, so it's a pretty cool physics lesson, right? A neat trick. But how in the world does this work when someone is actively trying to take your head off? Let's get practical. This is where the real genius of it kicks in. This one single principle becomes a universal key for almost any attack. You don't need to learn 1,000 different blocks for 1,000 different punches. Someone throws a straight punch, you don't try to block it head on. No, you step 45 degrees offline and you pull their entire structure with you. Someone comes at you with a tackle, you don't push back. That's a losing game. You just sidestep and guide their momentum right into a void. You're literally hijacking their own force and using it against them. Okay, theory is one thing, but let's see how this plays out under extreme pressure. The source material gives us this awesome tactical simulation. Picture this, one defender, they call him the moving fortress, versus five-armed shinobi. You know, the guys who are all about speed, stealth, and lethal efficiency. This is where the geometry really gets put to the test. So the shinobi come in fast, right? Straight strikes with their blades. But the defender, he doesn't block, he doesn't even try. Instead, he uses these 45-degree entries to step inside the effective range of their weapons, making them totally useless. He jams their posture, collapses their structure one by one. And then, and this is the brilliant part, he picks up one of the neutralized attackers and uses him as a human shield against the others. He's literally turning their own numbers against them. This has nothing to do with being faster or stronger. It's just superior geometry winning the day. Okay, I know what you're thinking right now. If this is so revolutionary, why aren't we seeing this in the UFC every Saturday night? And the answer is actually really simple. It's because it's not a sport. In fact, it's an anti-sport. Let's just break down the difference here. Sport fighting, that's chess. It's a game of points, of skill, with referees, soft mats, gloves, rules. But Tetsuryoku-Ryu, man, that is designed for a world with zero rules. A world where you have what's called the concrete variable, meaning if you fall, it could be fatal. It isn't chess, it's a shotgun. The entire goal isn't to score points or win a belt, it's to end a threat, period. You know, the founder of the system put it pretty bluntly. The techniques are designed specifically to cause that structural collapse we talked about, and they're paired with strikes to the absolute most vulnerable parts of the human body. So it's not just that it's too vicious for sport, it's that it's proudly too vicious. It wears its ineligibility like a badge of honor. So where did this lethal Frankenstein's monster of a martial art even come from? You might be imagining some ancient scroll passed down from a wise old master on a mountaintop. Nope.
The real origin story is much, much more modern.
It really is a Frankenstein's monster of combat. The founder, a guy named Jarrod Freeman, he didn't really invent anything from scratch. What he did was take the most brutally effective modules from other proven arts. He took the iron body conditioning and raw power from Kyokushin karate, the 45-degree geometric engine from Aikido, the science of balance breaking or kuzushi from Judo and Sambo, and the vicious close-range elbows from Muay Thai. He just kept what worked under the most extreme pressure and chucked everything else in the bin.
But, taking pieces from a bunch of different puzzles is one thing. How do you actually fit them all together into one single, cohesive system that's this brutally effective? The answer, well, it's probably not what you're thinking.
And here it is, the final, kind of mind-blowing piece of this whole story. The founder, Jarrod Freeman, openly admits he used AI to synthesize it all. He pretty much ran the core ideas, the modules from the other arts, the physics of the 45-degree angle, into ChatGPT to help structure the curriculum and the system itself. So no, this is not some ancient traditional art. It's a 21st century product, born from an algorithm.
So where does that leave us? We're looking at a system engineered by AI, built on cold, unforgiving physics, and intentionally too brutal for any sport. It really forces you to ask a pretty wild question, right? If a skill works, if it's brutally, undeniably effective, does it even matter that it came from a server instead of a scroll? In this new age of AI, what actually makes a skill real?